I never understood why my dad would always eat before we went to the church potlucks. Until one day I was involuntarily French kissing a cow, and it all made sense. More on that later, now that I have your attention. I was born in the Philippines, and we migrated to San Francisco when I was 8. So I'm here because of my dad. Well, I'm here because of my mom, but I'm here in the United States because of my dad. He was information attaché for President Marcos and was transferred to the San Francisco Philippine Consulate. So I grew up there. And just quick, anyone here by applause? Who's Filipino in here? Yeah, I expected as much. Okay, by applause, how many of you know someone who's Filipino or Filipina? Yes, that's a trick question because now you know me, so everyone should be cheering. So let's try that again. How many of you know who's someone who's Filipino and Filipina? Yes! Awesome. So in San Francisco, we found a Filipino church community. And as a child, oh my gosh, my favorite were the church potlucks, where they cooked all this like amazing, yummy, colorful, delicious food. How many of you all have had Filipino food? Yes? Okay. So cheer if you remember, if you know this or if you've tasted it. Chicken adobo. Yes. It's like this like meat marinated in like soy sauce, garlic, ginger, and like some yumminess, sweetness, sassiness. How about lumpia? Yeah. It's kind of like vegetable kind of rolled and fried, kind of like an egg roll. How about pancit? Yeah, it's like a Filipino dish, and it's like sautéed in like meat, vegetables. And how about a favorite? How about ube? You can see that. You can find that at Trader Joe's now. Yeah, it's very proud. So, anyways, we would go to these church potlucks, and they would have all this amazing food, and people would bring out their best, and then my dad would eat before we would go to the potluck. And so I was like, oh, I don't understand. But anyways, I go to the potluck and I fill up my plate and it's so delicious. And I sit at the table and I'm just eating and enjoying it. And this steak was like melting in my mouth. And I say to my mom, I'm like, this is the softest, yummiest steak I've ever had. And she says, wow, I didn't know you like cow tongue. Excuse me? I could see the taste buds, and I am looking, and I think this was less about food than it was like I started to understand my dad, and felt really connected to Angelo Castro, who was my namesake. I was like, oh, I get it, and I realized maybe sometimes people don't wash their hands. And just, then I started to realize, like, I started to see things differently. The fish with the head, because we used to eat all of that, and now it was staring at me. I don't know if you've ever seen the pig. It's like lechon with, like, the apple in the mouth. Yeah, like, so kind of opened my eyes, and I realized, you know what? Maybe life isn't always so delicious and fun and blissful. Like, I can see in my dad, like, life could be complicated. So he's actually buried in the Philippines. May he rest in peace and paradise. And I love like living in Amherst and passing through Hadley. Every time I see a cow, I just think, I love you, Dad. Thank you.